Hey, this is Brian Elaine from CrowdScribed, and I am here with Mary DeMuth. This is 6.5 Questions with Mary DeMuth. Let me guess, is it Mary Jacqueline DeMuth?
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, okay.
Yes.
I was close on the letter count, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Mary is the author of at least 20 books, as far as I can tell,
Yeah.
and her next book, The Wall Around Your Heart, releases October 15th, 2013. Mary, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
So, question number one, you've written, it seems like novels, cookbooks, nonfiction. I think you even wrote a repair manual for 1974 Ford Pintos.
I did. It's a class.
How many books have you actually written?
That's so funny because I'm not really sure. I need to just sit down and figure that out. But I think it's over 25 now because some of them are in different formats or I wrote for somebody else. And so it's hard to say, well, I know for sure I have 15 traditionally published books
Okay.
and I've self-published about 4 or 5. And then I've helped other people write books. So it's hard to say.
And
In the 20s.
over how many years has that been?
Since 2005. So that's 8 years, right?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's very productive.
Yes.
Do you think that's because it just comes naturally for you, or because you think it's your work ethic, or maybe a combination of both?
It's probably a combination, but I spent the whole decade of the 90s perfecting my writing before I was even published. So
Okay.
I basically did Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours of genius. And so I didn't start off as a genius by any stretch, but after, hour number 4,893 and hour number 9,999, I got a lot better.
So, question number two, despite being such a prolific author, you keep a regularly updated blog. I'm wondering if you could put a ballpark on how many hours a week on average you spend writing books versus writing blog posts.
Blog post is pretty simple, probably 3 hours a week on blog posts for 3 posts. My daughter's my assistant, so she helps me with one of those. And then all of the rest is either writing or marketing. And I probably work 60 hours a week-ish,
Okay,
maybe more.
that's great. All right, question number three. At this point in time, August 2013, you're strongly considering self-publishing a book you've written called Not Marked through a crowdfunding platform. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The book is about healing from sexual abuse and particularly in marriage. So if you have a spouse that doesn't have that experience, but you have that experience. So my husband and I actually wrote that book together. I've written enough articles online in various places to know there's a huge need and a huge response. But when I approached my traditional publishers about it, it was just too risky, too scary, too whatever. And one way back when even said, "Oh, I don't think there's a market for it," which I know is not true.
Yeah.
So I decided that I was more passionate about getting the message of this book out than I was about having it traditionally published. So I am going to be using Kickstarter in the next couple weeks and trying to crowdfund just the basics of that book, the editorial, the formatting, the graphics, and all that. It just takes money, and I just don't have the capital, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing it.
Yep. And CrowdScribed doesn't launch until October, so we're a couple months away at this point. Otherwise, I would spend the rest of this time trying to convince you
Yes.
to use us. Question number four. One of the things that we want to do at CrowdScribed is connect the reader with the author early on in the process, really as early as possible. Is that something that you've ever tried to do, connect with the readers before a book was published, either with a novel or with nonfiction?
Absolutely. And now, with this crowdfunding, it'll be even before it's in production. But
Yeah.
my last book, Everything, which was a Thomas Nelson title, I had a very hyperactive, amazing launch team that got the book prior to release, and they really did a great job. They were the tribe that got the word out about that book, and I just opened up to another launch team for The Wall Around Your Heart, and it's the same kind of dynamic. There's a proverb that says, "Let another promote you and not the words of your own mouth," and I really love that because I get tired of self-promotion. It just makes
Yeah.
me, I just want to barf after I do so much of it. So
Yeah.
having other people believe in what you're doing and them becoming passionate and having that tribe is super important.
Question number five. What are your ideal writing conditions? in terms of maybe environment or time of day or anything?
Definitely morning, and I have an office that I write in, although this year I think we might be homeschooling our 10th graders, so I might have to go to Starbucks a few times to just have that space where I have, space to work. But I'm pretty darn disciplined, so if I have to write a book in a month or 2 months, I just make myself write 1,000, 5,000, 2,000, 3,000 words a day, whatever the goal is, and I sometimes don't even let myself go to the bathroom until I finish that. So no matter what time of day is, if that goal is not met, I have to make that goal.
Okay, question number 6. I'm curious what your advice might be to young writers who feel like they have a book inside of them, but maybe don't feel like they have much of a platform at all. Do you think that's something that they should work on simultaneously, kind of developing the book or writing the book as well as the platform, or does one come before the other?
Well, I think it depends on if you're writing fiction or nonfiction. I happen to write both, but if it's fiction, your main goal is to become an awesome storyteller, because writing great fiction sells great fiction.
Yeah.
And the platform is not nearly as important as nonfiction. But if you're writing nonfiction and you have this topic that you're super passionate about, then yes, definitely build your platform. Now, simultaneously, while you're writing the book, it will only be a blessing to you, because you'll be able to use those people, ask them questions, and they'll become that tribe that helps sell your book down the road.
Where do you see the industry 3 years, 5 years from now? Do you have any premonitions about what might be different?
This is being recorded. I think publishers who understand the power of an author and what they bring to the table, and who partner alongside authors, are going to do a lot better than those who stay in that traditional mindset where an author gets very little of the cut. And I think that's why a lot of authors are jumping ship, because if I self-publish something, I'm going to make $13 on a book versus 89 cents. And there's part of me that thinks, I'm still very happy with my traditional publishers, but there's that other side in these types of books that don't fit, where I think I can bring it to the audience better, probably in that sense, and be able to recoup more of my effort that I put in on the front end.
Yeah. Question number 7. Coconut?
I don't like it at all.
No, not at all.
No, I don't know why. It just freaks me out for some reason. I've had weird fruit from all over the world, including durian, which is the worst smelling fruit in like Malaysia, Indonesia that you've ever had, but I still don't like coconut.
So you can find Mary online at marydemuth.com. Where would you like people to go to find your books? Amazon or?
Sure, Amazon's fine.
Awesome. Probably one of the most prolific authors we will have here on the 6.5 question series. So thank you for your time, Mary. And if you want to connect with readers and authors, find great books, and even publish your own, you can visit CrowdScribed.com. Thanks, Mary.
Awesome. You're welcome.